Hello there everyone, welcome to this week's Gran Turismo 7 Daily Race and Strategy Guide. We're off to Mount Panorama Bathurst in Australia in the Gr3 machinery, and I do believe it's probably been a little while since we were last here in Daily Race C. We've got 10 laps to get round, we've got tyre wear at times 5, fuel at times 2, just the racing medium tyres are available. There's a mandatory pit stop in this one. BOP is on high, damage is light, it's a rolling start, slipstream is real, and for your settings allowed, you just have the brake balance. So as I said, I think it's been a while since we've been here, because I don't remember driving Bathurst for a long time, and that's going to be pretty self-evident in the race that I am about to do. But before we get to there, two quick things I want to cover. Thank you very much to everybody who's watched and commented on the two recent videos regarding the tyre temperatures and the strategy elements of the new update. And I have to be very quick with this video as well, so there's a few things missing from the normal procedure because I have to be at the dentist for 10 o'clock, which is around about 45 minutes from when I am doing this commentary. But we jumped into the 8 o'clock race in the Toyota Supra, which seems to be the OP car at Spa last week for Daily Race B. And given there's some pretty lengthy straights here at Bathurst, I thought it would be quite a handy car. But as I was to find out, not driving Bathurst for a long time, jumping into a car you've not driven since the update, and also forgetting that it has a pretty awful cockpit view, and just how difficult Bathurst is as a track, let alone when you try to drive it in a cockpit view that is not particularly friendly towards not hitting the walls. We are going to have a fairly disastrous race, but we should be able to kind of work through it and do enough to kind of outline the strategy elements of this one. So it was pretty evident very quickly that I didn't have any pace round here whatsoever, as got max power in the Lamborghini ahead, pulls away by about 2 attempts each corner. The car felt so tricky. Now I didn't go in here completely cold, I had done about a lap and a half, and but yeah, I mean, I just struggled from the get-to and pretty much struggled for the entirety of the race. And yeah, well, hitting this wall here didn't really help matters because we picked up a 1 second penalty. We did pick up a 1 second, but we did for a barrier collision. So yeah, we were quickly dropping behind the cars in front. We've picked up a 1 second penalty. We're holding up the cars behind. We're all over the place going down the dipper. Somebody else is having an even worse time than us though, at the very least. And as we come down here to the chase for the first time, oh no, sorry, Forest Elbow for the first time, somebody else has also managed to end up facing the wrong way. So we're not alone in having a pretty terrible time around this track. A few drivers seem to be struggling. The car, honestly, it was so sketchy at times. Like for an FR car going down the mountain, you know, you could always rely on at least the FR cars to be fairly robust down there. But oh my god, this Supra at times was an absolute handful. Again, got the yellow flags out here as we come down to the chase for the first time. We've got a green Porsche off into the boonies. No idea how they ended up there, but a few drivers having a pretty disastrous first lap. So going past the pits for the first time, we are in P13 and coming to the end of lap 1, which, as I said, hasn't been quick. There's been a couple of oversteering moments in there, but at least we're facing the right direction, which is more than what can be said for some drivers. So, we picked up a 1 second penalty for the wall hit that we had on lap 1. We hit the wall at least twice as hard on lap 2, because we kept misjudging that corner again. This Supra in cockpit view, Bathurst in cockpit view, totally forgot how difficult it is, but for some reason we never got a penalty that time, so I can't quite explain that one. I guess we just kind of hit the wall, maybe we got the 1 second for an actual kind of wall ride. Anyways, jumping forward to lap 5, we are going to come into the pits here, and we are going to change the tyres, and we can talk about the pit loss and the fuel. Now, of course, as always with Bathurst, do practice the pit entry. It's very easy to get it wrong. You want to be pitting, braking before the 100 metre board on your sort of right hand side, but maybe, sorry, I think it's the 150 board, but yeah, pick a reference point for getting into the pits because you're going to need it. I've seen far too many people make a mess of the pit entry into Bathurst, and it can actually reset you back to the track, and then you've got to do another lap to try and get into the pits, and yes, it can all go wrong very quickly indeed. But we're going to change the tyres here for 2 reasons. The first one is that the tyre wear is quite bad at the end, as you will see, And the second reason is it only costs you 1.5 seconds to change the tyres. Your stationary time if you change the tyres is 4.1 seconds. Your stationary time if you don't change the tyres is 2.25 seconds. So it's around about a 1.5 second, 1.6 second loss, which in the grand scheme of things is not very much at all, as you're about to see towards the end of the race. I'll show you people's tyre wear. You can be able to see the difference between people that changed the tyres and people that did not change the tyres. So coming out the pits, I guess we had very cold tyres. Again, coming down the mountain, the car was just all over the place. Maybe some bad braking technique in there for me, but you're going to see it all goes very wrong at the dipper. And we've got Cat Bless here coming up behind us in an NSX one, but NSX, get your words out. I won't be able to speak in about an hour's time anyway after I've been to the dentist, or I'll be able to speak even worse than what I can now, as some people would say, after I have been to the dentist. We're going to have a drag race here with, it's the GT 500 NSX, and you're going to see the Supra absolutely destroys it. It's coming into the chase here. Because we're carrying so much speed in this car, we brake a little bit early, the tyres are a little bit cold, and the NSX is going to bump into us. He's going to move aside and let us back through. Oh good, it's not like we're fighting for anything particularly good in this race anyway, is it? So coming to complete lap 6 there, we're just going to jump all the way forward to lap 10, where we had pretty metronomic consistency with these 2-minute 4.4s, albeit 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds off the pace. But at least there was a consistency starting to go into the driving, and we were on for a 203 here at the very end. So we were making progress, we were slowly but surely managing to understand the car, understand our perspective from the cockpit view here, and understand the track. But it was to be a P12 and not one of my finest races at all. But certainly seemed, going by the first lap and actually throughout the race, that a number of drivers were having a few difficulties adjusting to Mount Panorama, possibly with this new handling model, and maybe just because it's a long time since they have driven there. But let's take a look at the tyre wear of the various drivers. So P1 never pitted, Tigney did pitted, this driver did pit. We've got Max Power in the Lamborghini who did pit. We've got a Menti, you'll see the difference here in the Renault, but the Renault's pretty good on tyres as long as you don't slide about too much. He didn't pit. Shelty did pit. We've got the Genesis here that didn't pit. So you can see, you know, the tyre wear is actually quite low. And given you only lose 1.5 seconds in the pits, I think given the state of the tyres of the non-changers at the end here, I would definitely be recommending taking that 1.5 second hit and changing the tyres. It's not to say the no tyre change strategy can't work, and obviously if you don't change the tyres you have a flexibility of when you make that pit stop. You can pit at the end of lap 1, you can pit at the end of lap 9, whereas if you are changing the tyres, obviously you want to get some benefit of those tyres, so you're going to be pitting in the middle of the race. Obviously optimal is going to be lap 5, but I think you could probably pit on lap 4, maybe even lap 3 and change the tyres. I think that's what Tigney did in this race. I think he pitted on lap 3 and changed the tyres. So yeah, your kind of pit window, you maybe got about lap 3, possibly all the way up to lap 6 before you really start to notice any kind of degradation on the tyres. So there is a bit of a window there for a little bit of strategy options. But that's pretty much it for this one. I've got a lot of work to do to try and get up the pace in this race, but as much as everything changes with update 1.49, lots of things remain the same. Thank you very much for watching, folks, and I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye now.